If there's one car that has quietly shaped the American automotive landscape for nearly 50 years, it's the Honda Accord. It didn't arrive with flashy gimmicks or wild claims. It arrived with something far more powerful: trust. When the very first Accord rolled into American showrooms in 1976, it was a modest little hatchback with a 1.6-liter engine and room for 5. It had front-wheel drive, a manual transmission, and a level of interior equipment rarely seen in compact cars of the time. There was cloth on the seats, a tachometer in the instrument cluster, and even an AM/FM radio. Simple, clean, and efficient, it was everything American buyers didn't realize they wanted, until they got behind the wheel. Gas prices were high, parking was tight, and big, thirsty land yachts were starting to feel more like a burden than a luxury. The Accord was the answer. It was compact but surprisingly roomy, economical but nicely appointed, and it quickly earned a reputation for being a car you could count on. And that was just the beginning. By 1982, just 6 years after its debut, the Accord became the first Japanese car to be manufactured in the United States, at a brand new plant in Marysville, Ohio. That wasn't just a manufacturing decision. It was a commitment. Honda had seen the writing on the wall. American buyers didn't just like the Accord, they trusted it enough to make it their own. Over the next several years, the Accord evolved steadily. The second generation added a sedan to the lineup and made strides in both style and safety. Engines grew a bit larger, interiors became more comfortable, and rust-proofing improved. By the time the third generation arrived in 1986, the Accord was sleek, modern, and increasingly refined. Some versions even had pop-up headlights, fuel injection, and the now famous double wishbone suspension front and rear. Handling was sharper, ride comfort improved, and the Accord quietly established itself not just as a sensible choice, but as an enjoyable one. In the 1990s, the Accord hit its stride. The fourth generation brought a rounder, more aerodynamic body and improved safety equipment like optional ABS and driver-side airbags. It was also during this generation that the Accord topped the U.S. sales charts, becoming the best-selling car in the country. In the fifth generation, Honda introduced a V6 engine option for the first time, alongside the reliable four-cylinder models. There was a wagon variant too, with a flat cargo floor and a rear-facing third seat in some markets. Buyers had more options than ever, and the Accord had become a staple of American driveways. The sixth generation carried that momentum forward with a more elegant design, improved fuel economy, and better build quality. The coupe version now had its own unique body panels and was marketed as a sportier alternative to the sedan. Inside, the cabin featured wood-grain trim, higher quality plastics, and the first in-dash navigation system ever offered in a Honda. This wasn't just a practical commuter anymore, it was becoming a near-luxury car in disguise. In 2003, the seventh generation debuted with new engines, including a 2.4-liter four-cylinder and a 3-liter V6 with up to 240 horsepower. Transmission options included 5-speed manuals and automatics, and for enthusiasts, a 6-speed manual with the V6 in the coupe made it one of the most underrated sporty cars of the decade. This generation also introduced the first Accord hybrid in 2005. Uniquely, it was a performance-oriented hybrid, using the V6 engine with electric assist to provide strong acceleration while improving fuel economy. In 2008, the eighth generation grew significantly in size and officially crossed into full-size sedan territory by EPA standards. The interior was huge, especially in the back seat, and the V6 now produced over 270 horsepower. Some models featured cylinder deactivation for better highway mileage, and luxury features like Bluetooth, premium audio, and navigation became common. The styling was bolder, the handling was confident, and the Accord continued to evolve from a practical sedan into a family flagship. In 2013, the ninth generation struck a new balance between size and agility. Honda trimmed the proportions slightly but improved packaging and technology. The new Earth Dreams engine lineup included a 2.4-liter four-cylinder paired with a CVT, and a refreshed hybrid system that delivered excellent fuel economy without sacrificing performance. The interior had a cleaner, more horizontal layout with soft touch materials, a touchscreen infotainment system, and available advanced safety features like lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, and forward collision warning. This was also the generation where Honda Sensing began rolling out, a suite of driver aids that would soon become standard across the lineup. The Accord was no longer just reliable. It was now intelligent. In 2018, the 10th generation took one of the boldest leaps in the model's history. The coupe was discontinued, and the focus shifted entirely to the sedan. Honda introduced two turbocharged engines, a 1.5-liter inline-4 and a 2-liter turbo derived from the Civic Type R. The V6 was gone, but few missed it. The new engines were powerful, efficient, and smooth. A 10-speed automatic was introduced for the 2-liter, while the 1.5 got a CVT or a 6-speed manual in lower trims. The design was completely rethought, sleek, athletic, with a fastback profile and bold character lines. Inside, the cabin became more upscale than ever, with available leather, wood-style accents, a digital gauge cluster, and an 8-inch floating touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Safety was front and center, with Honda Sensing standard across all trims, and crash test scores were top-notch. It was the most advanced Accord yet. But Honda wasn't done. In 2023, the 11th generation launched with a renewed focus on electrification. The entry-level models retained the 1.5-liter turbo engine, but higher trims came exclusively as hybrids using a 2-liter engine paired with dual electric motors to deliver smooth acceleration and excellent efficiency. The design is mature, understated, and elegant. The interior is clean and modern, with a focus on horizontal lines, a metal honeycomb air vent, a massive 12.3-inch infotainment screen on higher trims, and a standard digital instrument cluster. Build quality is among the best in class, and the ride is whisper quiet. The new Accord feels like it belongs in a higher segment. But even as it embraces modern design, digital connectivity, and hybrid technology, it still does what the Accord has always done, delivers value, comfort, safety, and reliability with zero fuss. Over the decades, the Accord has taken on many forms. It's been a hatchback, a sedan, a coupe, and a wagon. It's been sold with everything from carbureted engines to turbocharged power plants, from V6s to hybrids. It's been a budget commuter, a family hauler, a sporty coupe, and even a near-luxury highway cruiser. And no matter what form it took, the Accord kept winning over drivers. It stayed relevant because it adapted, not just once or twice, but again and again. While competitors came and went, the Accord kept getting better. It's earned more than 35 appearances on Car and Driver's 10 Best list, more than any other car, ever. It's competed with names like the Toyota Camry, Nissan Altima, Ford Fusion, Mazda 6, and Hyundai Sonata, but it never needed to shout. The Accord has always spoken in a quiet, confident voice. It's a car you don't just buy, you live with. It's a car that outlasts fads, one you hand down to your kids or trust for a cross-country trip at 200,000 miles. It's the car you never regret. And in today's world of SUVs and digital distractions, the Honda Accord continues to do what it's always done best, move people forward, one smart